I don't like fishing from a kayak. It has definite advantages. You can fish shallow and access areas where boats can't go, and if you're okay with a basic setup, they are inexpensive and convenient. You can throw them on top of a vehicle or in the bed of a truck and be on your way. However, there are serious and significant disadvantages when fishing from a kayak. I own a kayak and fished from it for years. I became dissatisfied with kayak fishing for the following reasons. Kayaks are small. Space is limited, and if you are older or a large person, kayaks can be very uncomfortable. Your casting angles are limited. You can technically cast 180 degrees without repositioning your boat, but realistically, it is much less. It's problematic trying to cast straight ahead because the nose of the kayak is in the way, along with any electronics or gear you have mounted in front of you. Casting at right angles isn't very comfortable. Holding your position is very difficult if there is any wind or current. Paddling is hard work, even in flat, calm water. Add some wind or current and you are in for a challenge. Kayaks are tippy unless you step up and buy a large kayak. A kayak large enough to be stable is no longer convenient to load. It's too big or too heavy to easily load on top of a car or SUV. If you're going to have to pull a trailer, you might as well get a boat. It's more stable and you have more room for gear. Handling large fish while seated in a kayak is difficult. You basically have a little bit of space between your legs to remove the hook and get the fish on a stringer or in a cooler. That brings up the subject of keeping your catch. If you use a stringer or fish basket, you just added a bunch of drag to one side of your boat, and paddling back just got a whole lot more challenging. You can use a cooler, but space is limited, so where do you put a cooler large enough to hold a day's worth of ice and a mess of fish? Your rods are almost certainly in rod holders directly behind the seat. I found them difficult to access, and I lost count of how many times I snagged my spare rod when casting. If you're floating a small stream, a location where kayaks excel, your spare rod gets caught in the overhanging limbs. If you choose to fish a lake with boat traffic, you have to deal with wakes from large boats, and because you are small and sitting low in the water, big boats might not see you, and there's a serious concern about getting ran over. I don't want to discourage you from kayak fishing. I want you to understand it isn't as cool as it looks in a video. YouTube thinks you'll like this video. Let me know in the comments if they got it right.